straight from the horse's mouth. Our Neil Young News Report.
Smell the horse on this one.
With this week's update from ThrashersWheat.org, here's Thrasher.
Hey, Thrasher here with this week's Neil Young news, and we do have fresh wheat, and that fresh wheat is going to get a lot fresher next week. So the big news at the moment is that we just received an announcement that Neil Young will be appearing next week on The Tonight Show, which is hosted by Jimmy Fallon. Next week, he'll be on Monday night, May 12th. And with Neil Young will be Jack White. So the press release has indicated that both Neil Young and Jack White will perform together as well as be interviewed together. So certainly this all promises to be quite a must-see event. Get your DVRs ready to go if you're not going to stay up late on Monday night. So it's already, promising to be a pretty intriguing evening. Also on the program that night is scheduled to be Jimmy Page. So how in the world are we going to have Neil Young, Jack White, and Jimmy Page on the same program? And of course, already rumors and speculation fly. As folks probably may recall, Jimmy Page and Jack White were in a film together a few years back called It Might Get Loud. So there's clearly a relationship there between Jack White and Jimmy Page, and certainly relationship between Jimmy Page and Neil Young going back to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony a number of years ago when they jammed together on that legendary night. So clearly, if Jack White, Jimmy Page, and Neil Young were to jam together, it would clearly be an epic night. But we'll hold back on our expectations, although as folks know, in the Neil Young prediction department, we fans seem to do a fairly miserable job of being able to predict even the most basic sort of outcomes of things because, as we say, Neil just keeps us guessing. But in terms of, again, sort of expectations, as folks know, Jack White appeared on Neil Young's most recent release, A Letter Home. Jack White was on two songs, the cover of On the Road Again, Willie Nelson's song, and on the song I Wonder If I Care, which is an Everly Brothers song. So I guess between the two songs, we won't go with the Willie Nelson one, On the Road Again, but we'll suggest that we might see Jack and Neil play together on I Wonder If I Care. So that would be just sort of like the prediction. And we'll also go out on a limb and say that they won't jam with Jimmy Page. But probably the wild card in all of this is the other Jimmy, the host, Jimmy Fallon. As folks know, Jimmy Fallon seems to be mildly we hate to use the word obsessed, but with covering Neil or doing impressions of Neil, and he's done a number of them over the years. Recently, or not so recently, maybe with Bruce Springsteen, and then again with Crosby and Nash, where Jimmy Fallon is doing his Neil Young impression, which is amusing and humorous and all those kinds of things, and we certainly enjoy that. But this seems like this could be a special night, and no disrespect to Jimmy Fallon, if you will, but it would probably be best if he just could sort of play host and not try and get himself inserted into the music, if you will, and let Jack White and Neil do their thing. Well, but we shall see. Of course, we'll most likely be completely off base on everything that happens, but Anyway, it should be a fun night. Anyway, so we'll have, of course, more on that on the blog next week once it happens. So tune in for everybody's reaction to it. The other item we'll just pass on real quick here is just a little tidbit of an interview with Neil Young in Rolling Stone by David Freak. This was just posted over on Rusty's on Facebook and Bad News Beat by BH. So don't quite have the exact details and context of the interview handy here at the moment, but we're just going to read what was posted. Pretty good question here from Rolling Stone, and David Freak. David asks, do you have a new album on the way to go with the new songs that you're writing? And Neil Young responds, I'm exploding right now. I don't know what's going to happen with it. The stage used to be my private studio. Albums like Rust Never Sleeps are all live. I took the audience off. I play better in front of people. Now it comes out on YouTube. These new songs, these cherries that are around. I don't want to expose them in a piecemeal, uncontrolled way. I'm trying to be creative in how I deal with that. So, there we go. Interesting. Neil is exploding with creatively. That's just music to our ears. Okay, and wrapping up here, lastly, Mother's Day tomorrow. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and especially everyone's mother, Mother Earth. And we'll just kind of tie it up here with, as everyone knows, the latest album, A Letter Home, actually does have a letter home on it that Neil reads off to his mother. And if you haven't heard that, again, as we've mentioned, it is quite touching and quite remarkable, and we will have more to say in all of this, but it seems as if we would have to say that A Letter Home at the moment is the perfect Mother's Day album for tomorrow. Although it is spoken word, but certainly, as with all things Neil, from the heart, and certainly something to, how should we say, inspire all of us children and memory of our mothers and parents. So, love you, Mom, and keep on rocking in the free world. Back to you guys, Tony and Eric at WBKM in Burlington, Vermont.